last week I talked about how easy it was for me to get into £12,000 worth of debt. But what I didn't share with you at the time is how I got out of it. And to start with, I want to be very honest and transparent so you know the full truth. Because it's important not to present a false identity of yourself to others. So in order for me to start paying the money back, I managed to bring in more money on a sustainable basis. And this was key to the change that I wanted to make and wasn't doing before that. So before, my work was really up and down. As a result, this provided a difficult opportunity for me to save any money, to pay off any debt, because my income was only just enough to pay my current bills at the time. And on top of this, I decided I had to cut back on unnecessary spending, which was a big factor in the relationships I had before at the time. I tracked my spending quite religiously, and I can tell you that during my previous relationship, where I got into quite a bit of debt, as I mentioned in the previous show, I was spending around £200 a month just on eating out. And for me, at the time, that wasn't within our budget. And you can see how easily the debt can rack up if you're not really conscious of it. So just by looking at my spending and increasing my earnings and spending less, I was certainly able to pay off £1,000 bank overdraft, which was the first thing in getting things going. So had I continued this process in order to pay off my credit card debt, that certainly would have happened. However, I was very fortunate. Not long after I started paying my credit cards down and paying off my bank overdraft, that I was left some money in a friend's will. And this was come as a surprise. It wasn't anything I expected. It was definitely enough to pay off all my bills in the first one big chunk. So it was something that I didn't really want to use to pay off the debt, but having credit card debt certainly is something that you want to pay off as quickly as possible, as opposed to a mortgage debt or maybe student loan debt that have different connotations in terms of how much you pay back over time, as opposed to credit card debt with the interest being so significantly high. So I did consider using the money to not pay off the debt, but the interest, like I said, was so high, it was better to just wipe it off and start back from zero. So if you do have the chance to pay off any credit card debt in full or as soon as you can, then it's highly recommended that you do that. And pay down the credit card with the highest interest first, and if you've got a few credit cards, and then work down to the lowest interest. So that year, I continued to save the money as I would have done to pay off my credit card debt, but now I was saving money to invest in my future, which was a real bonus. As a result, I was able to use the money to go on a once-in-a-lifetime holiday to Australia for a month. So the lessons I learned during that process allowed me to save more as opposed to paying off my debt. I paid off the debt originally, but I managed to do that quicker with obviously the fortunate position I was in with the will. So key lessons here is make sure you're tracking your spending weekly. Obviously trying to earn more or find a way of doing so you're saving more on a monthly basis. And any amount is key, just getting into the momentum of saving regularly. So then you can pay off any debt, say for a holiday or a home or anything else that you desire going forward. And I think if you can maintain that sort of momentum going forward, then certainly it will support you in terms of the goals that you want to achieve.